In the great era of black actors of the 1970s and early 1980s, this guy really stood out and he faced a lot of physical limitations in recent years that cut into his acting career, but we'll always remember him as probably one of the best black character actors of his generation. The great Louis Gossett Jr. has passed away today, March 29th, 2024. Now, born in Coney Island, he made his stage debut at the age of 17 in 1953. Shortly thereafter, he successfully auditioned for the Broadway play Take a Giant Step. He continued acting on stage in critically acclaimed plays, including the legendary Raisin in the Sun, The Blacks, Tambourines to Glory, and The Zulu and the Zeta in 65. Now, he's best known, of course, for his great job in as Fiddler in Roots in 1977, for which he won Outstanding Lead Actor for a single appearance in a drama or comedy series. And of course, he said he had him and the other co-nominees in the category said whoever win is going to be a win for all. So he was a very humble and cheering actor. Now, he acted in numerous high-profile films, television, plays, and video games. In '82, for his role as Gunnery Sergeant Emil Foley, in An Officer and a Gentleman, he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor and became the first black person to win the category. At the Emmys, Gossett continued to receive recognition with nomination for the Century Collection presents Ben Vereen, His Roots in '78, Palmerstown in USA in '81, his great performance as Anwar Sadat in '83, and of course the '85's science fiction movie Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid, and The Gathering Old Men, Touched by an Angel, and of course Watchmen in 2019. He won and was also nominated at other ceremonies, including the Golden Globe Awards, the Black Reel Awards, and the NAACP Image Awards. Now, he also played Colonel Chappie Sinclair in the Iron Eagle film series between '86 and '95, which of course was initially scored by Queen. Now, his other film appearances included Hal Ashby's The Landlord, Paul Bogart's Skin Game, George Cukor's Travels with My Aunt, Stuart Rosenberg's The Laughing Policeman, Philip Kaufman's The White Dawn, Peter Yates's The Deep, Wolfgang Petersen's Enemy Mine, Christopher Kane's The Principal, Mark Goldblatt's The Punisher, the original movie, Daniel Petrie's Toy Soldiers, and Jasper, Texas. And his television appearances included everything from The Partridge Family to Bonanza, The Jeffersons, American Playhouse, Stargate SG-1, Left Behind, World at War, Boardwalk Empire, and The Book of Negroes, the great CBC production. Now, again, born in Coney Island to Helen a nurse and Louis Gossett Sr. a porter. He was an alumnus of Mark Twain Intermediate School 239 and Abraham Lincoln High School. He unfortunately contracted polio during his youth, and but didn't hamper his acting career as he made his stage debut at age 17 in the school production of You Can't Take It With You when a sports injury resulted in the decision to take an acting class. Now, his high school teacher had encouraged him to audition for a Broadway part, resulting in his selection for a role in a Broadway version of Take a Giant Step in '53. After graduating from Abraham Lincoln High School in '54, he attended New York University, declining an athletic scholarship. Standing 6'1", he was offered the opportunity to play for the New York Knicks, but turned down the offer to instead accept a role in A Raisin of the Sun, and of course the rest is history. Now in '53, Gossett's performance in Take a Giant Step drew a lot of interest from critics and his former fellow actors. He eventually replaced Bill Gunn as Spencer Scott. The play was selected by the New York Times drama critics as one of the 10 best of that year. He was 17, and again, still a high school student, with no formal drama training. A very natural actor, he next drew recognition on the play The Death Set, with Gossett acting in it. The show had 297 performances and closed on July 7, '56. It's a comedy about office workers. On its 200th performance, Jack Y. Cole, the Morning Call Review, praised the entire cast. Now, in '59, continuing his Broadway career, Gossett played a role of George Murchison in A Raisin in the Sun. The story tells of a black family's experience in South Chicago as they attempt to improve their financial circumstances through a bequeath. The character of Murchison represents the fully assimilated black man who denies his African heritage with a smarter-than-thou attitude. The play received, of course, rave reviews. In Boyd Martin's review in the Courier Journal, he said that the play is magnificently played by the entire cast, and it won Best Play at the New York Drama Circus Critics Circle for that campaign. Now, during the early 60s, Gossett was considered to be a talented folk musician for which he was well known. His singing career was helped along with appearing at the Folk City venue in New York. Now, in 61, Gossett made his big screen debut with the film adaptation of Raisin the Sun. Due to the critical acclaim of the play, Columbia bought the film rights. Most of the original cast, including Gossett, returned to their roles. The film, just like the play, received excellent reviews. Also in 61, he appeared in the original cast of Jean Genet's The Blacks, the longest-running off-Broadway play of the decade, running for 1,408 performances. The original cast also featured Oscar nominee James Earl Jones, Roscoe Lee Brown, Cicely Tyson, Godfrey Cambridge, Maya Angelou, and Charles Gordon. In 63, Gossett acted in the Broadway play Tambourines the Glory. William Glover, in his review published in the Bee, describes it as the first Broadway play with a gospel score and praised the entirety of the cast for their energy and vocals. Now in 64, Gossett acted in the Broadway play Golden Boy. Also that year, he signed to Power Tree Records. Gossett's single Hooka Dooka, Green Green, Good Morning Captain was released in early 64. Later in May, Red Rosie Bush and CC Rider was released. Now in 65, Gossett appeared in the musical play The Zulu and the Zeta on Broadway as polished with music and lyrics by Harold J. Roan. A December 65 review of the play, the original cast recording that was released on Columbia, noted Minasha Skulnik and Gossett's vocal performance of It's Good to Be Alive as a standout. Now in 66, he acted in the Broadway play My Sweet Charlie. Gossett wrote the anti-war folk song Handsome Johnny with Richie Havens. In 69, Havens would play this song as the opening act at Woodstock. Now, in 67, Handsome Johnny was released, appearing on Richie Havens' album Mixed Bag, which he co-composed with Havens. Havens performed it on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, which resulted in a standing ovation that lasted through 2 commercial breaks. By September 67, his single Where Have All the Flowers Gone, Just a Girl was released on Warner Brothers 7078. It was a Cashbox newcomer pick and received a good review, with the reviewer calling it easy-paced blues, working, and a mighty fine, smooth vocal joined forces in putting across attempting an R&B reading of the folk standard. Now in 68, Gossett acted in the play Carry Me Back to Morningside Heights. In the spring of 69, Gossett was listed among the actors who could not be determined or uncredited in Stuart Rosenberg's WUSA. Of course, Paul Newman. In 1970, his album From Me to You was released on BT Puppy Records. It contained some of his own compositions. Now, in 71, he acted in Paul Bogart's Skin Game. That year, Gossett was cast in the film adaptation of the novel Finding Maui. However, the project went dormant and was released as The Mighty Quinn in 89 with another cast. On February 7, Gossett acted in Desperado in Bonanza. Also that year, he acted in the play Murderous Angels, which is about an investigation regarding Congolese leader Patrice Lumumba. In his Daily News review, Douglas Watts said that Gossett's performance at Lumumba was extremely convincing. Now in 72, Gossett acted in George Cukor's Travels of Bayant. He was announced to act in a starring role in Brian De Palma's Sisters, but had to withdraw due to scheduling conflict, and to play a gang leader in the Barry Shears Across 110th Street, but he's not in the finished product. Now in 73, Gossett acted in Stuart Rosenberg's The Laughing Policeman. In 74, he acted in Philip Kaufman's The White Dawn. In 75, he played O'Flaherty in an episode of $6 Million Man, and also appeared in The Jeffersons later that year. Now, in 76, he acted in films including Arthur Mark's J.D.'s Revenge and Krishna Shaw's The Reverend Niger. Now, when he showed up on Roots, this made him an international sensation, not say an overnight success, but pretty close to it. When he played the role of Fiddler in Roots, based on Alex Haley's book of the same name, it was a screen breakthrough, earning an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Single Performance, Drama or Comedy. Gossett stated it was initially insulted to be cast as a submissive Uncle Tom character, but after researching the role, he came to appreciate Fiddler as a survivor doing what he found necessary under the plantation regime. And he said in published reports at the time, you played a role the best way you can in the era that the role is presented. Now, that year in films, he also acted in Robert Aldrich's very underrated The Choir Boys and Peter Yates' The Deep. In Yates' film, an underwater thriller, Gossett played the lead villain. That was the 8th highest grossing film of 77 in the States and Canada with a gross of 47.3 million and one of the few black-led movies to do so well at the box office in that era. Overseas, the film was Columbia's highest grossing film with over 100 million at the turnstiles. Now, by 1978, he was in high demand. The television special, The Century Collection, presents Ben Vereen's Roots premiered. Vereen, in one, showcases key elements of his life through dance and music, and Gossett was among the guest stars. At the Emmys, he was nominated for Outstanding Continuing or Single Performance by a Supporting Actor in a Variety or Music. Now, a very underrated performance was the miniseries Backstairs at the White House in '79. It was about White House servants who worked during several presidencies. Gossett plays a servant who was 37 years of age when the series starts and 88 where it ends. He said, "I took the role because of the chance to age." At the Emmys, he was nominated again for lead actor in a limited series or special. Now, of course, in Palmerstown, USA, he was nominated in '81 for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series. Now, but the big, of course, breakthrough was the officer and gentleman role. A lot of people felt he should have been nominated for Best Actor, but he took the Best Supporting nomination and ran with it. Now, the drill instructor in the movie puts Richard Gere through hell throughout the film and eventually become one of the most important black performances of the decade. You again was the first black man to win an Oscar in a supporting role, male. Our Lady from God with the Wind, of course, winning the first. Now he was the third black actor to win overall. Now, additionally, Gossett won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor at those ceremonies, and of course the NAACP Image Award at their presentations. Now, he also was the lead in the science fiction series, The Underrated The Powers of Batu Star, which lasted until '83. Now, in '83, my personal favorite, he played a title role in Sadat, a two-part miniseries which chronicled the life and death of former Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. For his performance, he was nominated to the Emmys for Outstanding Lead Actor and the Golden Globes as well. He was also that year in the second sequel to Jaws, Jaws 3D. And now in '84, another big year. He played in Richard Lester's Finders Keepers, and of course the underrated science fiction movie Dennis Quaid, with Dennis Quaid and Wolfgang Petersen's Enemy Mine, where he played not say a hermaphrodite, but he was playing like a dual character, could also give birth to your own children. Very, very important performance. Now, A Gathering Old Men followed in '87, and was shown at Cannes, and it was released as a TV film in the States. Another Emmy nomination for that. Now, he also acted in Christopher Kane's underrated The Principal that year. Now, Iron Eagle 1 and 2 did quite well, and he also appeared with Dolph Lundgren in The Punisher, the Marvel Comics adaptation in '89. Now, on February 14, 1990, he acted in Zorro's by Name, an episode of American Playhouse. Now, in '91, very, very busy. Cover Up, Toy Soldiers, and the Josephine Baker Story. And for that, he won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor. In '92, he narrated the Liberators fighting on two fronts in World War II, talking about the black and immigrant experience fighting in the war. Now, we returned to Iron Eagle 3 later on, and also in a very underrated show, Digstown. Now, in '94, he was in Bruce Beresford's A Good Man in Africa, and became back Iron Eagle 4 shortly after. Now, in '96, he was in the Broadway play Chicago, and he was also in the Arthur Penn film Inside, which was screened at Cannes. Now, for that, he got a Cable Ace nomination. Now, he was also nominated for another Emmy because of a guest appearance on Touched by an Angel in '97, and of course did the Disney Candlelight Processional, where he was recorded and released by Walt Disney in 1997. Now, in '98, Gossett acted Bram Stoker's Legend of the Mummy, and also voiced the the Half-Life video game number 2. Now, in the 2000 film Left Behind World War, he played the role of the U.S. President. That year on television, again, he was on Stargate SG-1. Now, Tyler Perry movie, 2007, Daddy's Little Girls, and he also played Lucius Fox in the Batman animated series. Now, different programs included the voice talents of The World of Promise, the Bible production, with a series of the top flight actors: Jim Caviezel, John Rhys-Davies, John Voight, Gary Sinise, Jason Alexander, Christopher McDonald, Marissa Tomei, and John Schneider. Now, more movies: The Grace Card, Bowling Point, the Extant, Book of Negroes in Canada, and Madame Secretary. Now he CBS All Access, The Good Fight. He was on that series for a while. Now appeared in the revival of The Watchmen in 2019, another Emmy nomination for Outstanding Supporting Actor, and also The Black Reels. He got a nomination as well. Now he was also a guest programmer on TCM for a little while, and he chose 4 movies that were in his oeuvre, including Blackboard Jungle, Lifeboat, Touch of Evil, and Night at the Hunter. Other movies later on include Not to Forget, which aims to raise awareness and funds for the fight against Alzheimer's. And this included an interesting cast, including Gossett Jr., Cloris Leachman, Tatum O'Neal, George Chakiris, and Olympia Dukakis, all Oscar winners. Now, in 2022, he was cast in a supporting role for the upcoming American horror film Awakening the Reaper. The film also features performances by Lance Henriksen and Robin Curtis of Star Trek movie fame. Now, Awaken the Reaper is directed by Justin Paul and Dave Camfield. The film is produced by Ford Horizon Cinema, Impact Media Studios, and Design Weapons. Now, his big role in 2023, where he portrayed Old Mister in the 2023 remake of The Color Purple. The role was originally portrayed by award-nominated actor Adolph Caesar in the 85 film. Now, Gossett has been married 3 times, and 1 son and 1 adopted son. His first marriage was to Hattie Glasgow, and which was annulled. His second to Christina Manga Singh took place in 1973. Their son Sati was born in 1974. The couple divorced in 1975. His third marriage was to Star Sturge champion Cynthia James Reese, which took place on Christmas Day 1987. They adopted a son, Sharon Gossett, and James Reese divorced in 1992. Lewis was also the first cousin of actor Robert Gossett, who started in TNT's The Closer. Now, he stated in 1986 that he was handcuffed to a tree for 3 hours by police in Beverly Hills. That was his early indication about how tough it was going to be as a black man. Now, on August 1969, Gossett was playing with members of Mamas and Papas when they were all invited to a party at Sharon Tate's house in L.A. Gossett went home to shower and change clothes and was about to leave when he saw on television the news broadcast that Tate had been murdered by Charles Manson and his associates. Now, but according to published reports, the Mamas and Papas were not friends with Sharon Tate, and Tate and her close friends were killed on August 9th, but their murders were not discovered until late the following morning on the 10th when housekeepers arrived. Now, Gossett struggled with debilitating illness during the 90s and early 2000s, having been given a prognosis of 6 months to live when from a doctor at one stage. In 2001, he learned much of his illness was due to toxic mold in his Malibu home. Now, on February 9, 2010, Gossett announced that he had prostate cancer. He added that the disease was caught in his early stages and he expected to make a full recovery. Now, in late December 2020, Gossett was hospitalized in Georgia with COVID. Now, he eventually died in a rehabilitation center in Santa Monica on March 29, 2024, at the age of 87. No cause of death has been given. So, just awards and nominations again. The big ones, of course, were An Officer and a Gentleman, Love Songs, Smitty, The Watchmen, The Guardian, Sooty and Simpson, Inside His Father's Shoes. You got some daytime nominations as well. Golden Globe Awards 3 nominations: The Officer and the Gentleman, Sadat, and the Josephine Baker story. Moscow Indie Film Festival. Also NAAA Image Awards for Skin Game, An Officer and a Gentleman, Captive Heart, The James Banks Story, Touched by an Angel, Jasper, Texas, and At Least Among You, and Online Film and Television Association Awards, again for The Watchmen. Primetime Emmy nominations, Roots, The Century Collection, The Ben Vereen Show, Backstairs in the White House, Palmerston, Sadat, A Gathering of Old Men, Touched by an Angel, and Watchmen, and again only winning in 77 for Roots. Satellite Awards, Mary Pickford Award in 2008. Saturn Awards nominated for Enemy Mine. Screen Actors Guild Awards. You got a nomination for Best Cast for The Color Purple. Show West, Tao's Talking Pictures Film Festival. Tecumseh Valley International Film Festival. TV Land Awards and World Fest Houston International Festival won diversity of awards. So Louis Gossett Jr., like I said, other than Morgan Freeman and a few other key actors, and there's only been a few, you look at Denzel, the diversity of roles and the diversity of performances, there's not enough to say how good he was. So dating back again to The Raisin in the Sun, 1961, his first film performance, a whole bunch of stage stuff, first TV performance, The Big Story in 1958. And like I said, up and coming roles too is going to be interesting. How these are going to be celebrated, because he was a workmanlike actor. He wasn't scared to take roles that not say were going to pigeonhole him in certain things, but he was probably one of the most active actors of the modern generation. Like I said, whether his stories were true or not, because he was a great storyteller. But all I know, ladies and gentlemen, there was a time when Morgan Freeman and Louis Gossett Jr. and Denzel Washington were not household names. And he built the foundation for the great respect for the black actor, not only in the States, but in Canada. When anytime a show was on where Louis Gossett Jr. was part of it, it was something to watch, because you could tell there was a genuine style to him that could always be said he was playing himself. And I'm honored to say I'm doing this podcast today. He's one of my favorite actors. And when he did Book of Negroes for CBC, it was a tremendous day for me as a Canadian taxpayer to see my money supports the CBC get somebody like Lou Gossett to tell a true story about some of our culture. It's amazing. And Lou Gossett, again, he will be missed, man. It's funny how it goes. Somebody was asking me today, is Lou Gossett still alive? I said, yeah, because he saw him in The Color Purple. But 47 years ago, when Roots came out, NTV Newfoundland Television were showing the original Roots in what he called first run syndication for Black History Month. And Fiddler was just such a in-depth performance. He could say 5 words and mean 500, and that to me is my favorite performance, other than Officer and a Gentleman. But Roots, that was quite a time to get all those great actors, because we did publicity on John Amos. We've done something on the history of LeVar Burton and stuff like that. It was such a great time, and that's the golden era of black actors. He created that back in the day, because he gave so much on stage. When TV and movie roles opened up for him, he was there to say, listen, I'm a black actor, you could do it too. So when the black actor saw Lou Gossett Jr., he said, I can make it too. And I know all the young black actors since then have used him as a role model, a tremendous individual. So ladies and gentlemen, he will be missed. If you like what you're doing here with our memorial podcast on entertainment stars, sports stars, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.